Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Nothing like a Saturday evening with the boys. Derek, how are you feeling this evening?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Feels kind of weird to do this on a Saturday, but yeah, Big Cheese in the house for a Saturday album review, and we'll see what this one takes us. All I'll say is that I'm looking forward to the next one, and you're about to find out why.
Malenko, how are you doing this Saturday evening?
I'm doing good. I'm missing another Canadian game versus Boston. Of all the games I have to miss, it's okay. I like doing this, and that's work. We need to review these albums, and we're here on a Saturday night.
I just gotta say, I am happy to be here with you boys on a Saturday evening instead of being out spending money on alcohol and hookers. It's better to be here just reviewing hip hop. No?
Exactly. Yep.
And we need to do this quickly before we lose power because there's a nice ice storm coming to Montreal. And we know what happens when there's snow or ice storms to Derek's car.
Yeah, that happened on Monday. So
What happened, Derek?
second time this year while I'm parked, my car gets hit by someone
No
who
way.
doesn't. Oh yeah, not a joke, not a joke. So yeah, guy at least left his phone number, and now we're just dealing with it with the insurance. But yeah, second time this year that I have to change the whole front end of my car. Yeah, it's not fun. However, I did get an unexpected gift yesterday. I got to witness a terrible wrestling match between LA Knight and Zack Ryder. Woo woo. Listen, and I know that we no longer discuss wrestling on this podcast, but I have to address it. I just have to. If out of all the names you had to keep quiet and not reveal it, Zack Ryder was the one. Come on. First of all, I couldn't tell them apart. I didn't know who was who because they're the same fucking person.
They look the same. Yeah.
It's out of all the names to keep quiet, out of all the surprises, that's the surprise. Just no, that ain't cutting it for me. You better have better surprises coming up because if that's the big one, I'm done.
Can I ask you a question about maybe Malenko might know this because I know he was watching wrestling back then when Zack Ryder was there. But what's the big thing about Zack Ryder? Why
I have no idea. He's just big because he had a big following on YouTube already.
Yeah.
Because
For
he
kids.
does absolutely nothing for me. Like I really couldn't care less about the dude.
Zack Ryder in WWE was like a mid-carder, entertaining more than anything. He was pretty much what LA Knight was whenever he was like with the maximum male model thing. Pretty much the same thing, just entertainment. And he really blew up afterwards once he left WWE. He calls himself the king in the indies. And at some point, Kevin Owens was on Cody Rhodes' podcast, and he has a really good relationship with Zack Ryder. And he's like, for a guy who calls himself king of the indies, he sure talks about how he wants back in WWE. And now he's back, and that was the quality of the match that we got. So
Yeah, because he
he almost
really
got no pop.
Yeah, he was really like a kid following, and then he went to CGW. He went super
Yeah.
hardcore, and then came back.
But yeah, all that for that reveal. So yeah, that was a little disappointing, but hopefully there's more in store with that. So
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, there's bigger surprises.
I saw on Instagram that the ratings are never been lower for SmackDown.
SmackDown shit. SmackDown has been terrible consistently.
'Cause-
No,
and they call it they're calling the ruthless depression era.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
I've seen that too.
Yeah.
Speaking of the rootless depression era, something I just want to address really quickly, and I did address it on the Wrestling Tees podcast, but I want to know Malenko's point of view on this. West Side Gun got kicked out of Raw in Buffalo because of cease and desist was sent to him due to him using WWE skits, WWE licensed skits, and WWE licensed album covers. Now, I addressed it in terms of saying basically West Side Gun is a part of putting wrestling back on the map and also infusing it with the hip hop culture. And not only with the hip hop culture, but also infusing it with wrestling / fashion. Because without West Side Gun, I don't think a lot of people would be wearing wrestling t-shirts and integrating that with fashion. And also, he's gotten me back into wrestling. Not only wrestling, but literally AEW, TNA, back with WWE, just because he brought back what the love of hip hop and wrestling is, or just the love of what wrestling is. So I want to know your point of view real quickly, Malenko, because also you have been part of that. We got into West Side Gun. Maybe you got into West Side Gun about 1.5 years later than me, but just what he's done for just wrestling fans or hip hop fans and wrestling at the same time.
I mean, it kind of put me back on wrestling. It's been the first time I heard it. It was rare for a rapper to mention anything hip hop, anything wrestling in hip hop. Like there was always reference like Ric Flair and
Bronson. Actually, Bronson used to do it.
Yeah, kind of, but in that specific to go that deep in the references, West Side was the first, and then now everybody's doing it. Now it's just everybody. So
I don't think
so. It's huge. It's huge. It means that it speaks on the WWE. Like how is the situation right now? I mean,
TKO, right? TKO.
Yeah, like why put a season this is now? He's been the biggest fan. He's been on every show at front row. You know, he's spending money on that, so it's crazy. It's crazy, and now he's gonna cut it off, and he has his own thing. So,
well, yeah, what's fourth rope?
So, like, let's see how fourth rope goes. Is already doing super well. So,
yeah,
and AEW should open the door right now.
Well, AEW has opened the door a long time ago because he's always been front row. He's always been front row with Conway back when AEW started, right? But not only that, Malenko, it's just that AEW has really opened the door to West Side Gun because West Side Gun is able to put wrestling on the map. Kenny Omega hoodies, okay?
I regret not buying that.
Right? He's always, I told you. Remember that time I messaged him, like, do you want the Kenny Omega in orange?
I regret.
Okay, it's probably one of the biggest regrets of your life. Just like
probably
me not buying the Don't Get Scared Now hoodie. But anyways, it's okay. But like he has the entrance song to the Hurt Syndicate. How fucking crazy is that? Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and MVP. He has the intro song to them walking to the ring.
Yeah, no,
and
it's crazy.
WWE literally just said, hey, cease and desist, stop using anything that's WWE owned,
in his own town. He's got kicked out in his own town.
It's disrespectful. It just doesn't make sense to me.
And but let's wait and see in terms of what plays out with this. There's often been times where some, like, the departments at WWE just don't talk to each other.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, like, you know, like, so let's just wait and see. Is it like an overzealous legal department or marketing department that was like, hey, what the heck is this? He's not allowed to do that. And then, like, in 3 days, Triple H is going to be like, wait, I'm sorry, what the fuck did you do? This guy puts us, like, on the map. Like, you know, like, it could be one of those things. Triple H is pretty close in terms of the musical artists. He's always the one that's seen collaborating with them. I mean, he got, you know, he's got artists from Tool collaborating on songs. He's got, I don't remember the rapper's name, but
Travis Scott.
Travis Scott. So, you know, like, why would you bring a guy like Travis Scott in or stuff like that, but you wouldn't have West Side Gun? You know, it might just be one of those things that, like, flew under the radar and just someone got overzealous about something. So let's wait and see if maybe this was a mistake and this was just like an oversight. If it's not, though, this really fucking sucks. Like, it's a very unfortunate thing of hate. Like anyone putting your brand on the map is good. It's not a bad thing. Like, you know, and to Steven's point, if a guy like West Side Gun is able to get him back into wrestling, like that's another viewer that the WWE gets because of that artist. So, you know, like it's an unfortunate situation.
It's a very unfortunate situation, and you don't kick somebody out who spent $5K on tickets out of your show. To me, that's just doesn't make sense, because the only thing he's been doing for the last 10, 12 years has been literally putting wrestling to the forefront of the hip hop culture, and that the hip hop culture has literally been the forefront in any genre of music for so many years.
And how many artists do what he does? How many artists have wrestling bars or bring wrestling skits into the thing? Or is it going to be all of a sudden, because it's him now, every single other rapper that ever mentioned WWE or ever mentioned a WWE wrestler or ever mentioned a skit or anything like that, all of a sudden they're going to get cease and desist and we won't be able to listen to that music? Like, it doesn't seem like a logical move. It feels like a mistake. It feels like a mistake.
Weird.
He's literally, and I'm gonna end it with this, because we could talk about this till we're blue in the face. He's literally bridged the gap between music and wrestling. And I'm literally saying music. I'm not just saying hip hop. I'm literally saying music. And if it wasn't for him, no artist would be really referencing wrestling, nor would we see artists wearing wrestling t-shirts. He made that accessible. He made that cool. He bridged the gap between those two worlds. And it's not just somebody being front row at a show and The Rock calling in Busta Rhymes to the ring so they can have a segment together. It's far beyond that. It's literally far beyond that. So, anyways, to me, it's just blasphemy. But let's move on. I know you guys are excited for these 3 albums that we're going to be reviewing, especially Malenko with the first album that we're going to be reviewing. And that's the new Danny Brown Stardust record. We're starting off with that one. I thought it was going to be the main event, but Malenko wanted to do it first.
No, because I knew you guys going to hate it. But, I mean, you don't like, I don't think you like well-produced albums anymore. So, for sure you're not gonna like this one.
Shots
Go.
fired.
Kick it off, Malenko. Kick it off. But can you also explain the why behind what you just said, or no?
Because it's
well produced.
Because it's not a loop. So there you go. But no, I mean, 8th album now. He just gave us Cortina in 2023 that I was not a big fan of. But when he came out with Scaring the Hose was probably my favorite album of 2023.
Did we review it?
With JPEG Mafia? I don't think so. That album, you didn't like it?
I didn't like it, but it grew on me, I would say a year later. I actually owned the CD of it.
Yeah, so Scaring the Hose was my favorite on 2023 for sure. Top 5. And now we have Stardust. He went totally left side. That single that he came out was Stardust, was probably his most hip-hop track of here. The rest is all either EDM, drum and bass. You get some catwalk music. It's crazy. Like fashion music. And you get everything. You get production from Quadeca for the intro book of Quadeca as being a YouTuber that has been producing music for a good time now. In his album, I did listen to his album this year, and it was probably one of the most cinematic experience that I had with an album in a long time. Opening here, Book of Daniel, so you get something that's pretty relaxed, right? He's opening. Danny Brown is 42. He's been doing this, and he's now sober. You have to realize that he's sober. It's his first time writing an album sober. So a lot of introspection on this intro. Then you get Stardust. Stardust must be top 10 best Danny Brown songs of all time.
Really? No.
Dude, that beat is insane, and those bars are insane.
Malenko, I really do like Stardust. I think it's my favorite song of the whole album, but I don't think it's top.
Starburst. Like the
Starburst.
candy.
Sorry.
Starburst.
I just don't think it's top 10 Danny Brown. It might be top 20 Danny Brown, but I don't think it's top 10.
I think
But
it's
it's a
a
really
top
good
10
track.
song. I think it's a top 10 song. That whole thing is insane. Copycat with underscore is fucking my favorite song on the album, dude. I fucking love that shit. 1999 is incredible, bro. 1999 is fucking. It's hard stomping fucking EDM to your fucking face. There's Jonakis that's doing some screamo in between of those shits. Lift You Up was my favorite song on first listening, but then it went down a bit. Green Light is okay. What You See is fucking crazy. Baby, fucking crazy. Whatever the case, amazing. But then is there then I have a like I love My Life is okay with Fentanyl. That I'm not fan of that song. Right from Wrong, I'm not either. The End, it's okay. I fucking love the Korean part better than Danny Brown's part. And All For You is like an incredible song, an ode to this fan base and closing the book of the album. But the beats on here, you get everything. There's no hip hop in here.
Except maybe the first track, right?
It's the closest you can get. That and Stardust, but the rest is all EDM music. It's all drum and bass.
So I want to jump.
Hyperpop. It's hyperpop.
I want to jump in and I want to just give my point of view on this, and then I'm going to give the word to Derek because this is actually very interesting to hear what Derek is going to think about this album.
Do you want to be my baby? Bum, ba, bum, 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 da, na, na, na. Be my BA. Dude, all the songs. I'm telling you, all the songs. I remember them. I fuck with the first and second listen. I was like, okay, it's not too much of my thing, dude. I think today for reviewing the albums, I listened to it 3 times.
Look, I'm happy. You know what? It's amazing that you like it, and it's great that you finally we could actually sit down here.
But
S3.
I like music like that.
Yeah, and you know what? We're
That's
gonna
the
get
difference between you and I that I know of. I don't know about Derek, but I do listen to. I will listen to drum and bass. I will go to those shows. Like
I
that's
like
a big difference.
I like drum and bass artists.
I like hyperpop shit. Like there's some if K-pop is there's some K-pop songs that I like, but
See, I'm not a big fan of K-pop. And you said hyperpop, right?
Yeah.
Like that's not music that I'm very in tune with right now. I'm in a different cloud in terms of what I'm listening to in music. So maybe that's why I didn't appreciate this album as much as I really like Danny Brown and a lot of his projects. I'm very into a look. I'm gonna say this. My mood is very Alice in Chains right now. I'm in a big Alice in Chains mood. I've been in a very Deftones mood. I'm listening to a lot more like bands like Drain, Crush Your Soul, Mind Force, a lot more 90s grunge rock. Like I'm not into this style. Doesn't mean that this album isn't good. It's just not enjoyable for me right now. The 2 first tracks hit it off for me. I was like, wow, okay, if this is what we're getting, I'm gonna really enjoy this record. And then it literally for me was just on a different planet of style of production that it just fell flat, and it wasn't something that at the very moment, I am interested in. Doesn't mean what he's doing isn't good. Danny Brown always steps out of the box. Danny Brown always gives you something that you're not really gonna catch on to the first listen or think you're gonna get from him. And that's kind of what I just really didn't fall in love with from Danny Brown on here. Scaring the Holes literally took me a year to really appreciate and enjoy it. It might be the same thing with this, but my mood of music right now is not EDM, hyperpop, K-pop. I love Danny Brown's voice. The thing about this album that really stuck out to me was Danny Brown's voice really reminded me of early Danny Brown. 30 Danny Brown, his voice.
Mm-hmm.
But it just wasn't the mood that I'm in. And it sucks because I'm going to literally rate this or not even want to rate this because I still don't feel like it's necessary to rate it because I can't appreciate it because of the mood I'm in with the music. And we're probably going to go into the level of what I'm really in the mood of in terms of hip hop right now with the next albums we're going to review. But it's not that I don't appreciate Danny Brown. It's just not what I'm really listening to or my mood. Dude, I just told you I'm listening to Alice in Chains. You know what I mean? And I'm listening to Alice in Chains, Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains. Like Alice in Chains, MTV Unplugged Alice in Chains. You know what I mean? Like I'm listening to like I'm depressed Alice in Chains. You know what I mean? So it's kind of very different. But then
I've been listening to Sade. I listened to Sade Promises. The other day, I listened to Deadcore. Like the Spice Icon, I've been listening to Dealy. So for me, I don't know. It's I don't know. If feel good music is something that I'll enjoy me.
Yeah, and you know what? That might help you in the human being that you are because I'm looking outside and I'm seeing darkness. It's 3:00 in the afternoon and it's pure darkness outside. It's snowing. It's always raining. I haven't seen the sun in 2 weeks. I'm gonna put on Danny Brown and it's just really not gonna be with what the mood I'm in. You know what I mean? So Derek, I know what you like in hip hop. I know what you don't like in hip hop. I know what's difficult for you in hip hop, and I know the genres of music you listen to. Now we know all that. I want to know your thoughts on this album, negative or positive, and how you feel about this record.
So let me preface by saying that this was the first my first time ever listening to Danny Brown. I had no idea who he was, nothing at all. You sent me this. Actually, you didn't even send it to me. So the way that Steven works is he puts the episode number, he puts the projects we have to listen to, but he writes them down by text message, and then he sends it to us. Mm-hmm. So I did what I normally do. I opened my Spotify. I put in Danny Brown. I saw the profile picture. And I'm like, okay,
what is
perfect.
This picture?
It's like just him covering his face and like he's like just like has like a pose. I'm like, oh, this is very hip hop. So I'm like, oh yeah, okay, sure, not a problem. It's the cover of Stardust as his profile picture. So whatever. I click on it, and from the first listen, I'm like, did I click on the right thing? I was like, are there multiple Danny Browns? And I just clicked on the wrong Danny Brown. So I went back and I'm like, no, this is the only Danny Brown. And then I'm like, okay, let's just press play with that in mind. And my first reaction, so normally I listen to the album first in a car just to get like an overall general-ish kind of vibe in terms of like how I need to approach this. Is this the kind of thing that like I'm going to be able to put while I'm reading a book? Is this the kind of thing I'm going to be able to put when I'm working out at home? Or is this something I'm going to have to put the headphones, take out the notepad, and like start writing notes? And while I was in the car and this album finished, my first reaction was, what in the actual fuck did I just listen to? This was so out of left field compared to absolutely everything that I've listened to this year. And I genuinely mean that. In terms of the metal, the rock, the hip hop, the jazz, the everything that's come out this year, this is by far the album that I just didn't know how to feel about it. This is the first time I've ever heard hip hop done this way. It's the first time, maybe not hip hop, but this is the first time I heard a rapper and MC like deliver a project like this that's so vastly different compared to everything we've reviewed this year. But with that being said, it is so different that I enjoyed. It's not my type of music, but I genuinely did enjoy the fact, and I appreciate the fact that he tried to do something different and he succeeded in doing something so vastly different. Um, it's for sure a unique sound. It's very polished. It's very modern in the production. It's very high quality production. There's nothing here that you listen to that is jarring in terms of production value. It took me a little while to get used to his tone of voice that's slightly like higher pitch. But yeah, this was very, very different. Even in the world of just EDM, depending where you stand on EDM and where you stand on like the spectrum of EDM, whether or not it's like Excision or Illenium or stuff like that, like even this is out of left field. This is like rave. Like I listen to this, and I've never done drugs in my life, and I'm like, I feel like I should enjoy this on drugs.
Oh my
I
god!
feel like I need drugs to enjoy this.
I
like,
feel
this
like
is,
yeah.
sober didn't. I was like, sober me doesn't get it.
And it's his first sober album. Can you believe that? He yeah, listen to like Atrocity Exhibition or something. He always do something different.
Love that record. Love that record. I don't think it's his best one. People think it's his best one. I don't think it's his best one, but I fucking love that record.
And you have Danny Brown. The only thing is you didn't get two voices Danny Brown. Usually you get the relaxed voice Danny Brown. This is just high pitch, ready to go.
Yeah.
But
this was just so different, and I've like Steven, I just haven't been necessarily in that kind of mood. I've been in the like I guess I've been in like the metal, but like this new wave of metal that's hitting, like the Fit for a King, Dayseeker, President ish kind of vibe going on, like Bad Omens ish going on lately. And this was so high energy, such like high intensity and high volume that it felt very jarring. But with that being said, I did enjoy some of those. tracks. Some of these beats were good. It's just probably not something I'll ever revisit, to be perfectly candid, just because it's just not my jam. Or if I do revisit it, I'm gonna feel like it's maybe something like while I work out. Something I could put that just like keeps that energy going, like Energizer Bunny levels of just like grind your teeth and just fucking go. And to you guys' point, as you mentioned, I think Starburst is absolutely fantastic. I really genuinely do enjoy the intro on this as well. But this one was very tough to review because when I review, I try to compare it to other stuff I've listened to, but this is so out of left field that I don't know how to rate a project like this because I can't really compare it to anything hip-hop underground that we've been reviewing, and I don't listen to EDM on my daily basis, so I don't know how to position it in terms of the rating chart because I can't really compare it to anything. So it was a little odd for sure.
Malenko, let's get a score on this bad boy.
I'll go with the 8.5.
Wow. I'm happy you enjoy it. Derek, what are you drinking, by the way?
Whiskey, Irish whiskey.
What are you giving this on 10?
It's tough because, like I said, I don't know what to compare to and where to put it. So I'll put it at the default rating that all albums ever start for me, which is 6.5. I'll probably have to re-listen to this to see if maybe there's earworms in there that I could like
oh my
really,
god
like,
jive
jive with
that.
going forward. But by default, just because I have no comparable value, it's going to be a 6.5.
Okay. I'm going with a 6. Just because of the respect that I have for Danny Brown and how he really changes his style in every album. It's not something that I probably will go back to, but I will go back to it one more time just to see where, like, there's a time and a place for it. So I'm going to wait for that time and that place to go back to this record and see how I feel in that very moment. And like I said, right now I'm not feeling it because of the mood that I'm in. So yeah, I'm gonna go to 6, but respect everything that Danny Brown does and respect that everything that Danny Brown brings to the table. Because if you're talking about an artist that really goes outside of the box and really does things that he's on, right? It's always what Danny Brown is on and the level that he's on and what he's doing at the moment and how he's feeling at the moment. So all the respect to him for that. Let's get into the music I'm into and the style I'm into and the mood I'm into. The next record we are going to review is the Blue Velvet album by Bloo Azul and our friend who literally gives us the cinematic produced album that he brought to the table with Bloo Azul, Good Food. This is their third installment, if I'm not mistaken, with Cordon Bleu and Blue Appetit, two records that I thoroughly enjoy and go back to pretty pretty much every month or two. It's albums that I really like to put on when I'm in a mood just to lay back and listen to music that I could just really vibe to. And I think that their third installment of Blue Velvet is an album that I'm into in the mood I'm in. And we spoke about the mood that I'm in right now. And I like to sit back and to get that jazzy, classical keys, like that I'm in like a jazz club and I'm really paying attention to the person that is in front of me in a suit, really being exquisite with his rhymes. And I think Bloo Azul is really somebody that's really able to give that to me. Malenko, we had the honor of having a post match interview with at EVA, and going to EVA, I was very excited to be able to meet Bloo Azul and also to be able to see him live. And I was always wondering on how Bloo Azul would be as a performer because of his music is very different in terms of his approach than what we're normally really in tune with the underground. And it was really something amazing to see, especially that he went up against Figerson. And we've reviewed Figerson on this episode, and Figerson is just a killer. Like he's a swordsman and the way he raps. And it was just an amazing experience to be around. But yeah, Bloo Azul on here is literally just rhyming to you over loops, jazzy beats, a bunch of classical type of beats on here. I love just his approach to it. It's like fine wine. It's like going to a restaurant and really having a well put together meal, eating dinner with a nice bottle of wine, subtle, exquisite, at a very expensive restaurant with that jazzy type of vibes around you. Songs on here that I love: Suffocation, Mirror Man. Look, if you know who I am, Mirror Man having that loop voice, that feeling blue, singing throughout the song is just amazing. It's just amazing. Karma Loop, Cool Herc, featuring Bat Pace, David Lynch, Psychological, another great track on here, and Rebirth. Those are some songs on here that really stood out to me, and I find that's Bloo Azul at his best. What I love about this record, before I pass the word on to both of you, is, like I mentioned at the beginning, it's a vibe. It really gives me the opportunity to really separate the music and the artist and the rapper. And like I said, Bloo Azul is somebody to me who just gives me that feel good music. I don't know what he's about yet. I'm still trying to figure that out because he's very meticulous with the rhymes. You have to unveil him with the rhymes. He's going to always give you something different. You always kind of like need to discover what he's about. And you know what? He's one of my favorite artists this year. I'm going to tell you right now, if I got to give you a top 10, artist of the year, Bloo Azul is in there for me because he's interesting. Derek.
This felt to me this felt a little flat. I have absolutely nothing against the artists who produced this. It doesn't necessarily stand out in terms of the entire project doesn't really stand out as opposed to some of the stuff that we've heard this year. It sort of fits into like that medley of stuff that all kind of blends in together for me. Like if you would play this blind and you wouldn't tell me who it is, I wouldn't be able to say who it is. You know, like that jazzy, and I was telling this to Malenko before, it feels like this year is like the jazzy late night jazz club, soulful, low-ish energy, like dim the lights, whiskey glass. Like it feels like this the year for this kind of beat. And sadly, there's been a lot of projects that have come out in the same vein, and all of them kind of sound the same. They sort of blend into one another. That's not to say that there wasn't good tracks on this. Personally, there's two tracks that really stand out, and it's Mirror Man and David Lynch Psychological. Sorry, I heard Psychosocial by Slipknot on the radio before.
On the radio?
So, yeah, well, on Spotify, which is my radio now. Yeah, Mirror Man and David Lynch Psychological. I think those to me are the two standout tracks on this. I think the production in those are genuinely different enough. Like they bring that little nugget that I'm looking for. It's different just enough for me to have them stand out, whereas all the other ones kind of just bleed into one another. With that being said, I'm not saying that this is a bad album. I'm just saying that it's not different enough for it to stand out. And at this point, especially this late in the year, like November, getting close to December, there's been so many good albums that came out this year that you gotta, pardon for the street lingo, but you gotta come correct at this time of year if you're gonna release an album. Like if you're gonna release an album now, so late in the year, and you want it to be up for discussion in terms of album of the year, you need to drop a bombshell. You need to drop a hell of a project. And we discussed this on the previous episode. How do you do it when and the metal game has been really killing it this year as well? How do you do it? You do what the Spies Icon did, and you drop an absolute nuke of an album. That's how you do it. And this for me was not it. Was that the intention? Maybe not. Maybe it was just a good continuation of this trio packed album with good food. Maybe. But this late in the year, I'm looking to be wowed and I'm looking to be amazed by the project because you took this long to work on it and drop it. So, yeah, sad. I'm not saying I will revisit this just to see if maybe I would have missed something, but at this moment in time, that's my take on this.
Malenko?
For the same reason you were in the made for like a mood and for Danny Brown, I think for the year this year I've been listening to. I mean, we reviewed I don't know how much underground albums now.
A lot.
To me, it's not a bad one, but the thing is that I always see is like if I give 5 different albums to someone that doesn't listen to rap, he's not gonna be able to differentiate either one of the 5s.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised.
I guarantee you that. There's no arguing. I guarantee you that.
I'm surprised because, like, I feel like when I listen to this, or maybe again.
No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to do that. For me, it's just. I don't know. I respect Bloo because he got good bars, though. He got good bars. He's a good storyteller. He knows how to link his lines together. The sequencing on the album is great. Two Left Feet is my favorite song on here. I mean, there's really good. The loops from Good Food are really good. It's not bad quality. I just feel like there's so much underground right now. It's so tough. Like I'm probably the worst reviewer for this right now. I've it's really tough for me to get out. Again, for me, a Danny Brown gives me something different. Give me something different. He just opened my mind and made me listen to 4, 5, 6 new artists that I never listened before. That I'm probably gonna check what they do now. So like the underscores, I never heard about them. I'll check them out after because of this. But for me, it's so tough to get different. I don't know what's different.
Yeah,
I don't know
no.
what's it's like if you the same thing. If I give you 5 trap artists, you're gonna all think is the same. But for some people, I think for the moderate hip hop listener, that's what's tough with underground right now. There's so much, and there's so much of the same looped beat. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. I don't know how people can see a difference.
Look, here, you guys are coming from listening to so much different music. I do it as well. I just think that I'm looking at it maybe with a different eye because I'm so used to always listening to underground music that I'm able to really put different underground artists in different categories. Or maybe it's just because my ear is so used to it that it's something that I'm always consistently wanting to hear, and I kind of dig deeper within the projects. It could be that, but it's like I have my different categories for the underground artists, right? I have my different categories for the hip hop, and I find like an artist like Bloo Azul is so interesting, and maybe the production,
but compared to another one, how?
Just I think more on the
what makes it interesting
lyrically. Like I don't feel like I'm getting that grimy.
But there's so many good lyricists. To me, I'll tell you one. This album for me, okay, is I had it this year that I preferred, and it was Andre the Saint.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in the same category.
The Black Teddy Saint for me is the same vibe. That's the album that for me, this sounds too much like that.
Okay, and you're not wrong because I would probably put it in the same category.
And I respect Blue because Blue talks about himself.
Yeah,
and that's good, because there's other artists and other albums they're just gonna talk about that one subject matter that I hear about all of them. Like, I'm totally biased. Because I love Crime Apple. But Crime Apple's been giving us the same album for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm biased because I love West Side Gun, but West Side Gun's been giving us the same album for a long time. Mm-hmm. Boldy James, I don't listen to him anymore.
Yeah. I just, look, Malenko, to your point, and what I'm trying to say is that maybe I'm too much on the grimy side, too much on that too many drums, or like too much loops or something. I just find that you said it. He talks about himself, so I'm more interested in what he has to say, and just to me, the beat is secondary.
But I think I went too general too, because I said some stuff that is more for general music than and for this album. This album, I feel like there's no intro about a mafioso movie at the intro.
Yeah.
There's no snippet about like Goodfellas or those we've heard a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's just underground is a problem. Sometimes I feel like it's too much of the same.
But I find if we're going to talk about underground and we're going to talk about an artist like Blue or a record like this, I just find it kind of like, it's kind of more the refreshing style, or the more refreshing, like it's like a nice glass of water that we're getting to drink, and it kind
of a glass of water.
You know what I mean? It's
bland as fuck.
No, but it's more of the. It's refreshing. to me hearing
Okay.
this
Lemonade.
versus something else.
Like
And
a
I
nice
think we
pink
need-
lemonade.
And I think we do need to temper expectations for our listeners here. We don't dislike this.
No,
It's-
exactly.
it's not what we're trying to say here. Is underground is so strong, and underground hip hop is so strong and so powerful right now, and there's a lot of people who are putting in a lot of projects, a lot of hard work. And the issue that you have with that, and we are also seeing it in metal. Before I was mentioning the Bad Omens, the Sleep Tokens, the President. We're seeing this trend in metal where bands are taking this sort of softer, more progressive, introspective aspect to metal, and we're seeing that a lot, which means that like all those projects sound like the one that came before it. And we are also seeing that in the underground hip hop of this project stands alone for what it is because it is a good food Bloo Azul project. However, with that being said, in this style of hip hop, this jazzy, soulful late night thing, it's not bad. It just doesn't stand out in terms of the sound, not the content, but the sound of it doesn't stand out enough for it to be catchy for me. Like if I want to genuinely listen to all the bars and everything he's got to say, I gotta almost not listen to the production because the production just kind of lulls me a little bit. And this is nothing against good food. The quality of the product he's put out is fantastic. But in terms of what it reminds me of, I just feel like I've been listening to another project that just continued. I could tell there's differences, but it's not different enough for me to be like, oh, that's different. Let me perk up my ear. Right now, I'm going for sound that just, it catches me. It hooks me in. Hence why I mentioned Mirror Man and David's Lynch. I think those are tracks that, though the production is similar, it stands out. There's a little something in that production that makes me just like catch onto it a little bit more. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing of there's that sound that's propagating right now, and you sort of fall a victim to it, especially if you release your project so late in a year. You fall a victim to it because then the project that you take out in November is compared to all the projects that sound similar that came before during the year. Had this project came out in January, February, it would probably be different. We'd be comparing everything to it, but now we're comparing this to everything that came before this year. And I feel like in that regards, it's might just be a timing thing for me, but it just falls a little flat for that single reason.
So let's give our score real quick. I'm gonna go with a 7.5 on 10. Derek,
I'm gonna go for a 7 on this. The two tracks that are on this that I really like, I genuinely really like.
Malenko,
A 7. I think it's a 7 as well.
let's move on with the main event of the evening. I like to say main event of the evening. I'm super excited to talk about this project. We're going to be talking about Dealy from Feed the Family. Malenko, did you punch somebody in the face?
No.
Feed the Family, Dealy, Cortina with the album cover completely done by Kip the Fog. Look, guys, I'm going to kick it off because I already know, and you already know how I feel about this. You already know how I feel about Feed the Family. Man, this project, you start off the album with Zinging Villain with the Wire intro by Stringer Bell. When Feed the Family put out Zing Language, I said it on that review. You
Fuck, I forgot there was the Wire intro on this, and I just said that shit about the intros.
The Wire intro by Stringer Bell. When I said it, when on the Zing Language, these guys give me that Wire feel, okay? That whole Wire lifestyle. What we were watching when we were watching The Wire, it brought that to music, and I loved what they were able to accomplish with that. And Zing Language stood out to me. Now we're getting solo projects, and this Dealy solo project to me is a standout amongst the solo projects that they did. So starting off with Zinging Villain, that eerie intro to set off the album, that cinematic theatrical element to the album. It kind of sets the pace to what we're going to get with the next couple of tracks. Nosedive, produced by Piff, classical vocal loop with the 2000s Heatmaker Dipset vibe. So soulful, so street, something that I love to hear. Okay. I've said this numerous times on the podcast. I love that style. It brings me back to hip hop that I used to love, that I used to listen to. And Dealy really hits the nail on the coffin. Is that what is that the is that the saying? He does a great job with it. He does a great job with it. And through the album, we get that heavy, in-depth storytelling of the streets, the hustle, the dealing with the zings, which are the fiends. And I love how these guys are able to really make us dig deep within what they're trying to say and the language that they have brought to the table. Just standout tracks on here. I said Zinging Villain, Nosedive, Compressor Pressure, featuring Snotty, another vocal loop produced by Tremendous. Tremendous is amazing with the vocal loops. Gives you that cold evening vibe, which you have Snotty on here, which both of them feel like they're spilling all of their emotions on wax and give us what their lives are all about, or what their lives were all about with that loop, that crazy loop on here that Tremendous is able to give to us with his production. Another one on here, Stolen Hope, a more hype beat on the album with that head nodding. And he does an amazing job on here. One's for the plug, two's for the zings, three's for the cut. I charge 4 for the thing. I stole hope every time I sold dope, but this drug game got me in a chokehold. That's the stuff I love. That's the stuff I love in hip hop. That's that street poetry. Zing therapy, almost like he's the listeners are the therapist, and he's trying to really be the most honest as he possibly can. Brick of Cortina, featuring Boyer Rock and Tega. You get that gritty, disgusting alleyway type of vibe beat. Another standout on here. Now, you guys could hate me for saying this. I think Malenko, out of all three of us, is going to be the one that mostly understands me, as I'm his friend, and he understands what I love in hip hop. But G Code, featuring Sheikh Hanif,
that's my favorite song.
Okay,
Me too.
Is masterful at its finest.
That's my favorite song. I wish it was more of this vibe on here.
But it's Sheikh said it, something very special. The Zingettes, okay? And Sheikh Hanif singing on here, cocaine is a hell of a drug, with that raspy voice, singing over those trumpets and those keys. Let's stop there. Malenko, why do you love a track like this?
Oh man, is this fuck? I love that Kingpin type of we made it type of beat. I love that fucking always those fucking Maybach music beats. It's something that, I mean, that's why I love Rick Ross when he Teflon Don, that fucking voluptuous and like super fucking. The beat shows you luxury, you know. So G Code is my favorite song on here,
and they killed it. And for Sheikh Hanif to go in a different type of style, different type of bag, singing on here, and then he comes with his introspective type of bars to really kind of balance that drug talk that Dealy is giving us, that street talk. It's the perfect balance. And I posted this, and please don't hate me for this, but this is one of my favorite records of the year. Luxury. Malenko, you said it. It's that fucking Maybach luxury type of stuff on here. Derek, I'm so happy that you like this song. They killed this song.
They absolutely killed it. And to Malenko's point, I was trying to find out what about it, because I'm still relatively new. Like, I'm 2 years into this whole hip hop thing, and I was trying to find out what made it so that, like, I liked it so much. And he mentioned the Maybach music, the Rick Ross, and that's like, that's in a certain way. And I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way, but to me, like, Rick Ross, like, that style of music, to me, it's like the fast food hip hop. Just like, I hate that I love it so much. Like, I know McDonald's isn't good for me, but that McDouble hits the spot every goddamn time. I don't give a shit. You know, like, it's luxurious, it's sultry, it's high roller. It's
tough to do those well produced. That's why the production on Teflon Don and is so sick. That Rick Ross production, when you hear it, Jesus Christ, he had good production. Jesus fuck. But
I think Sheikh
really
Hanif does his thing.
Oh,
I think
my
Sheikh
God.
Hanif does his thing. Sheikh Hanif has one of the best projects out this year so far. Like, honestly, I've been listening to that album almost weekly. I absolutely love that album. So I was genuinely, when I saw that feature, I was really, really looking forward to it. And they kill it. They kill it. They absolutely just kill it. There's nothing else to say. Like, that's, for me, the standout track on this whole album. This is one that, like, it's on the playlist. It's on, like, the hip hop playlist of just that car hip hop, just feeling
cocaine
it.
Is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
They did an amazing job with this, and I said it. It's one of my favorite songs of the year. Might be my favorite song of the year, with Fico, with Clips, and Stove Got Cooks.
That's another good track.
Dirty Syringes with a howling voice and heavy bass drum, almost like a trap beat, but slowed down. Very graphic, very vivid. Bench Press featuring Last Days. This is that opera church sounding beat, like it's 2004. Again, it gives me that Dipset. It gives me that era of hip hop that was very, glamorous, very luxury, and Dealy did a great job with Last Days on here. Dope Boy Zinging, I love it. I thought it was a great song on here. I find throughout the second part of the record, you get more infused type of trap beats on certain songs.
Yeah.
That kind of like put the album in a different light. And Dealy does his part on here, like Son of a Plug. And the album ends off with Nobody's Keeper. And I find that Dealy, that being like the end of the album, kind of has a really great bar on here. And the song starts off almost like he's freestyling on the beat. Like he heard the beat and he just started going off the top of his head and just putting the lyrics to the sound and the soundscape of the beat. And, the line that he says on here is, and I hope I don't get it wrong, I love my brother to death, but I'm nobody's keeper. And that really stuck out to me because it was basically saying, like, you know what? This whole album, I really literally spoke about what I've been through, what I've had to deal with, what I've had to go through with the zings or just where I'm from and stuff like that. And I do have friends, I do have feed the family, but I'm nobody's keeper at the end of the day. Because if I got to do a certain thing and I got to go a certain way and it's about me. And it just really stood out to me because it really made me think of, hey, he's the man who he is, respectfully, and he's nobody's keeper. And it was just a great way to end off the album. Look, I love this project. The cover art by Kip the Fog, just Dealy opening up the curtain and seeing the zings like they're zombies, really spoke to what the vibe and the soundscape of the record is. before I give my final score, Derek, quick thoughts on the album.
Yeah.
And this must be, and look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm going with you first, is because again, you're coming from a different light on here, listening to different genres of music, especially metal, and this might be a different sound to your ear.
Not so much, I'd say, a different sound, but this is probably by far the subject matter that I enjoy the least in hip hop. Like, I don't enjoy when rappers just talk about women and hoes all the time, and I don't enjoy when all they talk about is drugs and dope. I just don't. Listen, I don't mind on a 14 song project if there's 3, 4, 5 songs that talk about it. I don't mind it. But like that being the theme of the album, I feel like it's been done, it's been said. Not saying that everyone has the same experience to it, and I'm not saying that he didn't do it well. I'm just saying that that subject matter for me, as good as he is with the pen and as introspective as he was in terms of what he's gone through, that subject matter, sadly, it's not something that necessarily appeals to me. I can appreciate the work that gets done to it and the way he's trying to bring light to it and the way he goes about talking about it, but it's just not the subject matter for me. With that being said, I think that there are some good songs on this. I think Nobody's Keeper is really good. G Code, as we mentioned, I think is good as well. I enjoy Nosedive as well. But for me, I like when they switch it up. I like when we talk about something a little different. I like variety in an album as well. And this for me it just didn't quite hit it. So it wasn't a tough listen. It was just a listen. It wasn't a fantastic listen, and it wasn't a bad listen. It was just a project that I heard. I'm glad I heard it, but it's not something that like I'm probably not gonna mention this to like anyone. Like I was telling this, I was telling this to my girlfriend before of like this episode for me, I just don't know what to say, and I don't know how to bring my opinion to the table because it's either I'm too new to this and I don't understand what's going on, or maybe my ear this year has just heard so many really, really standout projects that I feel like I'm trying to compare everything to those projects, and I might not be able to see these projects for what they are by always comparing them to other projects. Especially coming from Feed the Family and Shake and Eve, dropping that project of, oh, it's another guy from Feed the Family, let's see how it compares. And then I end up comparing projects that maybe shouldn't be compared together because they're not quite the same thing, but it's still something that my brain unconsciously does. It's kind of like I drive a Hyundai and then I'm going to drive a Mercedes. I'm still going to compare the Mercedes to my Hyundai. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same thing. They're cars, but they're not the same thing. I'm still going to compare them by default. That's just how my brain works. And I think that's just one of those things of not having been in hip hop long enough that everything is a comparison. Sometimes I take it for face value. I'm going to take it for face value in terms of what it is. But I will do that if they provide me a sound and a subject matter that's different than what I've heard. Then my brain automatically goes, this is different. Let's evaluate this as its own entity and not compare it to anything. I think I suffered from that on this album, to be honest.
But to what you're trying to say and being new to all this is just, there's a lot more to just drug talk. There's a lot more to dope talk, like you mentioned. There's a whole, how do I explain this? And I'm explaining it to you, and maybe Malenko could jump in. There's a lot more to it. It's just life, like just talking about, the trials and tribulations to people that have been through things and putting their own twist on it and trying to make it a lot more interesting. Because you know what? A lot of the music in hip hop does have that subject matter. It maybe sometimes to a different extent, maybe minimal, but there is that's I would say that ingredient to hip hop, but it's how you're able to bring it to the table that for me makes me interested in what the person is saying and how they're bringing it to the forefront of their project. You know what I mean? Again,
Yeah.
Zing language. There's all, like just there's those elements that how they're gonna unveil. Is that the word? Unveil? Unveil. Sorry, I can't talk. Unveil that their whole life and that makes me interested in their music. You know what I
get
mean?
it. I get it. I think for me, it's the combination of not being like new, like not being fresh, and also not being old in terms of the experience. So I'm not so familiar and I haven't heard so much projects that talk about this subject matter, so that like I'm curious to see how they're gonna bring it differently. And I'm still new to the fact that like I'm not in other genres of music. Drug talk is not something that exists, to a certain extent, of course. So like I'm new to the subject matter, and it's not a subject matter that like, listen, I didn't grow up in an environment with drugs. I never did them, so I didn't grow up with like having that be a part of my life and being part of the music I listen to. So not only am I new to the subject matter, it's also a subject matter that I have no affiliation with. I've never heard about it, and I haven't heard enough of it for me to compare it to something else. To me, I'm at the point where all drug talk is the same drug talk. Come back to this maybe in a year or 2 years, and I've heard more projects about drug talk, then I'll be able to appreciate the poetic and the creative liberties that they take with the subject matter. But it's such a new subject matter that it all kind of sounds the same at this point. It's sort of like where my brain's at, and I'm trying to push through. I think I'm just going to need more of this kind of stuff to be able to appreciate the nuances of it.
I think for and I'm going to talk for everybody in here, and then we'll move on to the final score. Is I think the presentation is everything. That's basically what it is. And
but what's the presentation in rap music?
What do you mean?
What's the presentation? What do you consider a presentation for rap music?
I just think it's how they present to you the subject matter and how.
But what for you is the presentation of rap music?
In terms of generalizing it?
No, but what do you consider a presentation?
So if we're gonna go on a subject matter,
the beat or the rap or the lyric?
To me, is I would start with the lyrics first, right, and then the production and how it meshes together.
By your point, the way they rap about it is how you present to you.
Yeah,
so they need to be different. The way they rap about it to be different from the others.
Let me finish off with this, Malenko. Okay, I'm a huge Dipset fan. I'm a huge Diplomats fan. Diplomatic Community is top 5 albums for me of all time.
Yeah.
Okay. The way they were able to present to me the same thing I've been listening to since the early 90s, okay, it was way more interesting. There was a twist on what they were able to give me in terms of their presentation, right? It's all street talk. It's all drug talk. It's all storytelling through what they were doing. Right? But their presentation of it was it was different. There was a lot more interesting ways of how they were giving me the bars and stuff like that. So like when I'm listening to a Feed the Family, I'm getting 4 guys that are giving me different perspectives of their whole life and giving me different presentations. Look at the Sheikh Hanif project. Look at, it's very differently than the Dealy project. And it's very differently than the Top Hooter album. Top Hooter gave us 2 records this year. He gave us Handing Out Samples and Hooter Hyena. We have Sheikh Hanif, The Hand That Feeds, and we have Dealy, Cortina. Those are all different projects given to us differently. All right? In the eyes of their life and the story that they're trying to give us. They're giving it to us differently than I would say somebody else is giving it to us in the underground. The presentation is very differently. Dipset, G Unit, okay, different presentations of almost the same subject matter, right? So I'm looking at the presentation and how that presentation is being given to me and how they're putting that product forward. That makes me interested into the artist that I'm involved with. West Side Gun, Griselda, Look at the product they gave us in 2015, 2016, Malenko. Way different than every single other artist that gave us projects for fucking 30 years. And that's how it stood out to me. Presentation to me is everything. Album cover.
So presentation for you, but that's the thing that I'm not trying to argue you. I'm just trying to see what for you presentation is the rap. Is a rap lyric, is the flow, is the cadences, how they write their hooks.
Yeah. It's like exactly. what could look at the Clips' new record.
Exactly.
Look at Clips' new record and how they presented us that project. Again, Clips, same subject matter since
Pusha T, yeah, all the time.
Right? Pusha T. It's always the same subject matter, but it's always the way Pusha T is able to bring his projects to the table, talking about the same exact thing. To me, that is the wow factor of his music. It's like, oh fuck, he said
it's the bars. Thing. It's the bars.
He said the same thing, but it's how he attacks the beat with the bars. To me, I'm a huge
flow,
Pusha
the cadence. Exactly, yeah. So the flow, the cadence, that's the presentation for you.
Right? And like Pusha T is the fucking thank you, Malenko. Pusha T is the prime example of all of this. The prime example of all of this. But we love every Pusha T project and we love every Clips project because this is how he presents them to us.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my final score in this. I'm going to give it an 8.5. Great job done, Dealy. I think you've done an amazing job with this. I think you've grown as an artist, and I think this is one of your best standout projects of all the projects you've brought to the table. Feed the Family is fucking killing it this year. I named all the projects.
Feed the fucking family.
Bori Rock continuously puts out amazing projects. You know, Infinite Wave that he put out this year with Bone Wesso just keeps really doing a great job. Again, their projects are projects that need to be listened to because it's how they present it to us and gives us a different energy, different life. And they've done a great job with it. All those projects I've mentioned, go listen to it. Bori Rock has a list of projects to go listen to. Derek?
7. I'm going to have to revisit this later after listening to something more similar. But as of right now, it's a 7.
Malenko?
I think I'll give it a 6.5.
Yep. Done, Dealy, Cortina. Boys, it's been a pleasure on this Saturday night with you. Any other call outs on projects we want people to listen to besides Drain? Drain's new project, Drain is Your Friend. Derek, anything else we want the people to listen to?
Montreal artist called Young Rose dropped an album called Beautiful Damage. Give that a listen. Very talented, very good album. Gave that a few listens to this week. Give it a try. Show Montreal some love and give them a few listens. Definitely really good.
Malenko?
Mercy by Armin Armour and The Alchemist. Fucking great album. And another fucking great album made by Dope, Bruiser Wolf. I wish we'd have reviewed that. I wish Derek would listen to that. But it's way better than his last project. And it's actually something that I've been listening to a lot. And talk about someone that does something different. You have it right there, Bruiser Wolf. Bruiser.
And if you haven't liked and subscribed, please press that like button. Please press that subscribe button.
Motherfucker.
Because we bring the best in hip-hop reviews. Boys, I appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. Peace.
Peace.